welcome, Matthew. It's really nice to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So, Matthew, would you be able to just give us a bit of an introduction of who you are and then give us a bit of a project overview?
So my name's Matthew Pontifex. I'm a lecturer in dietetics. I teach anatomy, physiology, biochemistry to our dietetic students, but I'm also a researcher and I'm interested generally, I guess, in nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics. But more specifically, I'm quite interested in sex differences and how that influences nutrition. And a lot of the projects that I'm working on at the moment in the sphere of menopause and trying to understand basically how that influences cognition and what sort of, strategies we can use, nutritional strategies we can use to improve the associated decline in cognition that's linked to the menopause transition. So this research that was funded is kind of in that sphere as well.
Could you start by giving us a short overview of your project and what challenges or questions it aimed to address?
Yeah, so I mentioned before that I'm sort of in the sphere of looking into the impact, or how can we use nutritional strategies, so precision nutrition approaches, to improve cognition during the menopause transition. And so we found previously in our work that N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, or DHA, or docosahexaenoic acid, in our models of menopause seem to reduce these important N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids in the brain. And then when we supplement with these N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids, previously in marine fish oil form, we can sort of recover some of the symptoms and ameliorate some of the issues with cognitive decline. Now, one issue with that is obviously we need to also think from a sustainability side of things. And if we were to advocate N3 polyunsaturated supplementation to all women, sort of 50% of the population, you can see that maybe that won't quite add up, especially because we were currently looking at, sort of 2 grams per day human equivalent dose. So advocating that to all menopausal women might be a challenge sustainably. So the idea of this project was basically to see, can we use alternatives? Can we use these transgenic plant oils? So these are basically transgenic plants that have been altered so they can produce these N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids in their seeds. And so we can then have DHA, for example, and the other N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids in much higher quantities in these seeds. And so the idea was to sort of test, do we get the same effect from these alternative, more sustainable N3 polyunsaturated fatty acid sources?
How did the support from iNutrilife enabled you to carry out this project? Were there any specific resources, collaborations, or opportunities that made the difference?
Yeah, so absolutely. So first of all, I am an early career researcher, and this was actually my first, what I'd consider, like substantial funding. I'd had a few, like 5K pots of money, but this obviously was more significant than that and actually allowed me to do, some real research in this area. Also, the idea of having sort of the collaboration. So my project, I was able to collaborate with both another sort of university and also an industry partner as well. So sort of combined enable me to, sort of have that collaboration experience with not only research but also industry partners.
Thank you so much for this. You mentioned collaborations. How do those partnerships shape your work?
Yeah, as an early career researcher, it's been important to have, that collaboration. So the individuals that I was collaborating with had really good knowledge of the oils that we were using and helped in the formulation of the diets. And then that knowledge was then applied to the project.
Amazing, thank you. So, what progress have you made so far? Are there any early insights or milestones you could share with us today?
Yeah, so essentially we've we're at a situation where we've completed the project and we're in the write-up phase now, and it's hoped that early next year we'll be publishing this paper showing our findings. And it, what one of the big results, I guess, for us is, if you take away the menopause, I think for the first time, this is actually the the first time it's been tested whether these plant oils can actually get into the brain, the first bit of evidence for that. So I think, it's been looked into in terms of cardiovascular system, but I think this is the first sort of evidence in regards to the brain. So without that menopause effect. And we do see that these N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids do get into the brain, these plant versions. So that's really nice to see. And then in terms of the menopause, it does seem to be changing the altered lipid profile. Perhaps not quite to the extent of the marine oils, but there does seem to be some change with the plant oils as well.
Amazing, thank you. And do you see any potential impact that your research can have in the future?
Yeah, for sure. So I think it's, if we're going to be advocating fish oils for perhaps the treatment in menopause-related cognitive decline, then I think we do need to have sustainable sources, and the evidence here shows that basically these plant oils can contribute to that. And now that we know how they can shape the lipid profile, we can perhaps, with our collaborators, work to further improve these oils so that they're even at like an even closer level to that of the marine fish oils. So I think that's really exciting for the future that we can perhaps, improve the efficacy of these plant oils.
That sounds like a really nice plan. Let's see how things happen in the future, but I think your project is really setting the scene for amazing things to happen. So one last question. What advice would you give to researchers who are thinking of applying to the hub for funding, to iNutriLife for funding now?
I mean, advice-wise, I think just absolutely go for it. I think it's a really good strategy and seems to really focus on that early career researcher, which funding for these sorts of individuals or like myself is really important to really, get us moving in our careers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Matthew, for being here today with us.
No problem. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.